This guy worth billions of dollars just tweeted that he will purchase Manchester United. This made the shares of the English soccer team to quickly skyrocket by more than 17% from just a tweet. However, before that, the UK's richest man had also expressed his interest in buying the team. So, who is this buyer? Is he capable of buying Manchester United? And how much would it cost him to make the purchase? We're talking about Elon Musk. Here he goes again. But before we start, how about you please hit that like button and subscribe. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell. And without further ado, let's get started. Elon Musk tweeted, "Also, I'm purchasing Manchester United. You're welcome." However, a few hours later, Musk said that his purchase of the club was really a prank in response to a Twitter user who had questioned his seriousness. He tweeted that he is not purchasing any sports teams, but if he did, it would be Manchester United. He also said that as a child, this was his favourite team. After the second tweet, as of 4:30 a.m. ET, shares of Manchester United, which are listed on the New York Stock at 3.68% in pre-market trading, trimming gains after originally soaring 17% in response to the first tweet. According to the club's most recent stock market value, Musk would have needed about $4 billion to purchase Manchester United. When CNBC approached Manchester United about the situation, they chose not to comment. At the time of making this video, Musk's initial tweet, which sparked a significant response, had received over 573,000 likes and had been retweeted over 140,000 times. Although the American Glazer family, who are the club's current owners, have drawn criticism, Manchester United supporters responded in a startled but optimistic manner. Maybe this is because of the club's sluggish start to the English Premier League's current league, where they already have 2 defeats in the games. As we all know, the club hasn't been performing well. It might need a new buyer who will have a new management. On the other hand, some fans were suspicious about Musk's offer to purchase Manchester United even before he emphasised that it was a joke. This is because the multi-billionaire has a history of making similar internet pranks. He tweeted earlier in April of this year that he would buy Coca-Cola to put the cocaine back in, and on Wednesday, after making it clear that he would not buy Manchester United, he returned to that post once again. And even though adding cocaine back into Coca-Cola is extremely popular, Musk remarked, "I'm not purchasing Coca-Cola to do that." This comes after the board of Twitter approved Musk's offer to acquire the social media business for $44 billion. However, Musk has already changed his mind. Now Twitter is suing the billionaire over the disagreement. But why is he now interested in the club? What does the club have? How unique is it from the rest? Manchester United is a professional football team with 141 years of history, sometimes known as the Red Devils. The team is one of the greatest football clubs in the world. The club saw one of the quickest growth rates throughout the Industrial Revolution due to the influx of workers from other British islands. Manchester United was founded during this period of the city's rapid expansion. Under Ernest Mangle's leadership, the club reached new heights of wealth and participated in its first Football League game in 1892. The season has been awful. The team is currently languishing at the bottom of the Premier League for the first time ever, following a 4-0 loss to a newly promoted team, Brentford. The club's issues are blindingly clear on the field, and there hasn't been much progress from the performances that resulted in last year's poor 6th place finish. They come out as toothless in transition, a mess in defence and toothless in attack. But despite their current issues on the field, the club owners, the controversial Glazer family, are coming under growing pressure from both fans and commentators. The Glazers have been charged for draining the club's resources and failing to invest in the team or its infrastructure, including its training facility and the venerable Old Trafford Stadium. Since Ferguson's final season in 2012-13, the team has not won the Premier League, and the Red Devils have gone 4 seasons without a single title. Former players and fans are now speaking out more and more, putting pressure on the Glazers to either sell the team or provide the much-needed leadership and responsibility. This may be why we see the richest man in America and the richest man in the UK talking about buying the team. Since Alex Ferguson and David Gill left, this club has had a poisonous atmosphere for the past 10 years. There is a mess, and it can't carry on like that. The owner must bear responsibility for the embedded failure over a 10-year period. They were monetarily rich a few years ago. Now they're struggling. They need $1 billion for the stadium and maybe a few $100 million for the training facilities. A sacrifice must be made, and maybe it's now time for the Glazer family to sell the football club. If not entirely, then at least a portion of funds were used to finance the £790 million transaction when they acquired full ownership of the club in 2005. For the first time since 1931, the club largely took on debt to fund the leveraged acquisition, including £275 million in loans secured by club assets. With interest payments of £62 million a year, the loans quickly reached a staggering amount of £660 million. Manchester United unexpectedly found itself spending millions only to settle the Glazers' debt instead of getting millions in fresh investments. Early on, there were encouraging signals. In 2006, the Glazers persuaded famous CEO David Gill and famed manager Sir Alex Ferguson to stay. However, the Glazers did not keep up, and as competitors like Chelsea and Manchester City utilised their new substantial funds to invest millions or perhaps billions in their teams. When Sir Alex left the club in 2013, United had only spent a net of £164 million throughout that 8-year period, an average of a little over £20 million a season. Manchester City, by contrast, spent a net of £466 million throughout that time. Some missed opportunities in the transfer market are more painful than others, such as Sergio Aguero's 2011 move to Manchester City when United refused to pay his transfer price. Carlos Tevez also left United after spending 2 years on loan, and the City famously unfurled the banner that said, "Welcome to Manchester." United lost the championship that year by a single point. This is not to argue that United did not achieve success during the Glazers' early tenure. They undoubtedly did. Sir Alex Ferguson was compelled to choose shortcut solutions more and more as competitors started to invest heavily. When he and respected CEO Gill left the team in 2013, United's team was worn out and a shell of what it once was. The likes of Ryan Giggs, Rio Ferdinand and Patrice Evra were all past their prime, while Paul Scholes had retired. Wayne Rooney and Michael Carrick were also past their prime. The Glazers soon found themselves in serious difficulties after the creative brains of Ferguson and Gill departed the building and a generation of United greats began to fade away. Despite all of the success that Ferguson gave the team, the financial reality was depressing. In addition to spending very little on new players, the Glazers also did very little to reduce the club's mounting debt. When the club's obligation grew to £716.5 million in 2010, it was necessary to issue around £500 million in bonds to pay off the debt. Fans' protests grew increasingly louder and they kept changing managers. Several wealthy supporters started to plan a takeover. It didn't work out because the Glazers' demand for the club was more than £1 billion. The club has been in ruins since 2021. Now, Erik ten Hag, the new manager, desperately needs reinforcements. This might happen if the Glazers agree to sell a portion, since the stock has already been dragging behind. With the $4.65 billion valuation, Manchester United is the Premier League's most valued team. The team is publicly listed and currently has an enterprise value of $3.4 billion. But most soccer experts believe that a private sale would result in a considerable premium and that the Glazers might fetch up to $5 billion for the team. Anyway, what do you think? Will Elon Musk's declaration land him in trouble, given that he also misled people into buying Twitter stock with the same claim? Or was he serious in buying the club? That's all from this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. See you in the next video.